Hello, how are you? Um, if you're looking for a psychotherapist to tell you how to diagnose you with some condition, I will tell you now to keep on looking, because they won't. Psychotherapists do not diagnose anyone. They may recognise something or highlight something that they've noticed, but they certainly won't say, "Oh, I've noticed this, therefore it's definitely that." So someone might go to a psychotherapist because they're struggling with concentration and stuff like that, and they might go and they'd say something like, "Do you think I need, I don't know what the medication would be now, Ritalin or whatever. Do you think I need that?" And like, they're not going to turn around and say, "Absolutely, yeah, you need that, and you need to go off and do something else." So they may say to you, "Well, who else have you spoken to about this? And have you considered maybe, if you're thinking ADHD, if you talk about speaking to a psychologist, or if it's something like more profound, like you feel in a psychiatric, it could potentially be something psychiatric, then you'd also talk to, or in case of that, you talk to a psychiatrist." Now, so in that case, if a client is saying, "I want to go and get a psychiatric review," the psychiatrist may ask for the therapist's opinion as what they've experienced. That opens a bit of a ethically questionable area, because then that's asking the therapist to breach confidentiality to talk to someone else. And you might say it's all within the same field, but I certainly wouldn't write directly to any psychiatrist or psychologist. I would always deal with the client, and if a client, I'd ask the client to write to me what they're looking for, and I would say, "Well, what we discussed, once you've given me release, this is what we discussed," and then they can take that to the psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist will know then what to review, and that can sometimes happen and aid towards some kind of diagnosis. But the diagnosis definitely doesn't come from the therapist. They may actually agree with you that you're saying, "I notice my concentration is terrible, I can't focus on one thing at a time, I'm not getting sleep, I'm not getting this, I think it's that, what do you think?" And the therapist could say, "Well, it sounds, what you're saying sounds like that," and they may also say, "But we can't diagnose." What can then happen is the person will go home, talk to the family and say, "My therapist said I have," because it carries some weight to say someone behind it is saying, not just me making it up in my head, or I googled symptoms and this is what I have, but it says, "Well, my therapist says I have." Like, a therapist will never really say, "This is definitely what you have," because we can't diagnose. We don't know. We haven't got the skills, we haven't got the training, we haven't got the tests, and we haven't got the assessments. So that's when you'd say, in that case, well, that's really a psychologist that might, you might need to talk to a psychologist in that sense. We're here dealing with your emotional stuff, or you may need to talk to a psychiatrist if you're concerned about that. There may also be the opportunity at times where there may be something coming into the room, whatever that is, and the therapist can say, "Well, I'm noticing there something now. Have you noticed this about yourself?" And they'd say, "No." "Well, maybe would you consider going and talking to it?" Now, they're not going to say you have to go and talk to it. "Would you consider going and talking to a professional about this, like a psychiatrist?" And in some instances, maybe they refer you onto a psychiatrist, or in my case, I'll allow you, I'll encourage you to go, "I'll find my own psychiatrist," and then you're away on your own. Like, I'm not about saying, "This is the psychiatrist you have to see, this is the day you have to see them." I want to empower your right to be able to find your own. And that's it. So really, if you're coming to a therapist to diagnose you with some kind of a condition that you feel you have, it's not going to happen. They'll only work with you as you are in whatever you present. And really, whatever you have, if you have any kind of pre-diagnosed conditions, all they just need to know it, so that then they can say, "Okay, that's what this is. I'm not seeing this for the first time, it's already a pre-diagnosed condition." And as well, it'll help them to see, will I consider working with you? If you have something that's not within my skill set and it could damage you, well, it'd be better for me not to take you on. So I'd say to you, "Well, that's not an area I'm very familiar with, but I can refer you on to someone." And it's not saying that I don't want to work with you, it's just saying for your benefit, and the best care you'll get is to go to this person who specialises in this. And I hope that's helpful. Thank you. Talk to you soon.